Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 Legends mod season here on the channel. We start off a brand new round, and it's the round of 8 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the South Point Hotel and Casino 400. Everybody back to 4,000 points with myself, Stuart Petty, Kyle Busch, Larson, Logano, Dale Earnhardt Sr., as well as Kevin Harvick, fresh off of a wild race at the Charlotte Roval, and now we have some normal D-shaped oval mile-and-a-half racing that I'm very excited for. Las Vegas usually a pretty decent track for myself, and now you never say never, it could go completely wrong, but you know, we seem to have kind of gotten in line again here on this series, because earlier in the series we were struggling, we were making some mistakes, we were having a few moments here and there. The choke in Bristol comes to mind immediately, but hopefully today we can have a solid effort all around through qualifying as well as the race. And it all starts off with a good qualifying effort here on the exit of turn 2 down this back straightaway on our first and only lap through 3 and 4, and things felt pretty good. I don't really think I could have gotten a much better lap out of it, to be completely honest. And as we come through to cross the line, the goal was at 30.5. We hit a 30.872, but that puts us P10 here in this South Point 400, so pretty actually happy with that effort. Now, as you can see, the rest of the qualifying order on your screen, playoff drivers really scattered all over the place. Look, the 31st place car, Kevin Harvick, way down there, so not very good effort for him. But then you got Dale Sr. around myself, and up at the front you got Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, as we were ready to go green flag racing. As usual, 67 laps at Las Vegas Motor Speedway now. As you can see, Matt Kenseth on pole, as Rusty Wallace actually failed a pre-race inspection, so he's starting at the back along with Chase Elliott, who crashed during qualifying in that Napa Auto Parts number 9 Chevrolet Camaro for Hendrick Motorsports. Now, as he is not in the playoffs, so does not matter, but we are starting alongside a playoff contender, Richard Petty, in the number 43 as our green flag is out, and we are underway for 67 laps here of racing in Las Vegas Motor Speedway under the lights in the playoffs, or maybe the final time, depending on what Martinsville is. Is it going to be under the lights or not? I'm not 100% sure. We do have an interesting round of the playoffs, so you look at this round. I think this is a round that really benefits myself. We got 2.5 miles that I like of Las Vegas, as well as Homestead, Miami. I love Homestead, Miami. And then we have Martinsville, another track I am really good at. So when you look at this schedule, I think not only in here, but say in my iRacing career mode as well, I really do think that this is a round that if I can get to it, I can easily get myself towards the final 4 position, unless things go wrong, of course, because that is always a very real possibility. But this is definitely my favorite round of the playoffs now that we have changed it up for the 2023 season and 2022 as well. You can see here in the actual racing in this video, 3 wide in front of us between Jimmy Johnson, Darrell Waltrip, as well as the 5 of Kyle Larson. I myself would take a gander on up to the outside and try to get that momentum rolling. I really love running this top, and you're not going to only see that today at times, but you're going to really see it in the next episode at Homestead, Miami. I mean, NASCAR Heat 5 really allows you to get up on the wall, quite like that, I guess you could say, as I do catch the wall on the exit of turn 4, do some damage to the right side of the car, give up some track position, but it wasn't long till I was fighting it back for it. Now 97 car currently of Kurt Busch out in front of everybody. Now, as you can see myself getting a little bit aggressive here, going 3 wide up the inside of the 16 of Greg Biffle, the 5 of Kyle Larson. You got Matt Kenseth just in front of us here as we exit oval 4 and head down this front straightaway again up to P7, and now the attack was on. We were just continuing to gain positions here. As you can see, P6 to our name now, as we were trying to go a little bit further than this, but I was starting to actually lose grip in this car, starting to get a little bit loose, and as the run goes on, the looser you usually get. Tony Stewart, he was on an absolute tear through the field. He would fly past everybody behind me, and then, well, including myself as well, make a pass. But here we are, 10 laps to go on the stage already, and I'm kind of on an island of my own currently here in P7. Not really a whole lot going on. No complaints from me, however. I was pretty happy with how everything was going in the 7th position. Denny Hamlin currently out in front now, so you're taking the lead away from Kurt Busch, but P7 will be plenty enough for us to get a very solid point today. But here you can now see Joey Logano up by inside on lap 13 into turn 1. Another driver with a lot of speed, a playoff driver as well in that round of 8, so he takes over P7. We jump down to P8 here, lap 13 of 19. I decided to come in and pit a couple laps earlier than everybody needed to try and catch them off guard, but the caution is actually going to fly, so a little bit awkward timing there. We fortunately don't lose any positions, but we did get hit from behind. Everybody comes into the pits for 4 tires and fills it up with fuel, and I was a little bit concerned about the takeoff speed for this car on the restart, considering I just got absolutely railed from behind. And you can see we're going to get back underway, and yes, sure enough, the speed is lacking. It's nowhere near the extent that it could have been, so we actually kind of get away with one now as we head down towards turn 1. So game on still late now in stage 1. Just 3 laps of racing remain here as we exit turn 2 down the back straightaway. Then as we came through the 2 to go, we got past Kyle Larson, got to the outside of Joey Logano as we head down into this first turn. Going to continue running this outside line, make it 3 wide with Logano as well as Jimmy Johnson. Kyle Busch currently out in front now. He takes over the lead as Denny Hamlin has faded, and you can see myself still scrapping it out with Jimmy Johnson. Logano got ahead as we start this final lap here of stage 1. Down towards turn 1 on this final lap of the stage, you see Logano putting some pressure on the back of the 16-3M Ford Mustang of Greg Biffle, and it's going to work tremendously for that number 22. Side by side they are down this back straightaway. I get clear of Johnson, so I dive to the inside as well of the 16 of Greg Biffle into 3 and 4 for the final time. I'm not going to have enough for that 22. They're side by side up in front of us between Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch, but it's Kyle Busch who's going to come through to win stage 1. We're going to come through to cross the line just behind that 22 for P6. It was so close between that 18 and that 97 for the stage victory, but Kyle Busch was able to hold off his brother Kurt. Everybody into the pit lane again for 2 tires, or 2 cans of fuel, sorry, and 4 tires now as we are ready to go green. I mean, some guys could take 2 tires if they wanted to, but I don't think that's going to happen. Clint Boyer, by the way, was the reason for the first caution. He is out of the race. Going green for stage 2. Green flag is back out. We gained 1 spot over Joey Logano in the pits, so now we're P5 on the inside as we head down this long stretch towards this first turn. 17 laps in stage 2. Stage 1, there was a pit stop necessary. Stage 2, maybe not quite the same situation. We're 3 wide in the middle, however, as Greg Biffle sent one up the inside, caught me napping a little bit. I left the door wide open for him. Shouldn't have, but I did. Side by side down into turn 3. We do get clear of that 16, get alongside Tony Stewart. I dive way to the top of the track there, nearly into the outside. Well, you don't get much closer than that. Unfortunately, they're not able to get any momentum out of that. It just kind of washed up the track there. I wasn't trying to go as high as I did. It just was really plowing tight in turn 3. I did make some adjustments during the pit stop there because I noticed as the run went on, the car got quite a bit looser and I was losing time because of that, so I have tightened up the car quite a bit for stage 2. Now still side by side, but clear again for P4 over Greg Biffle, but this fight would continue on with other drivers as the stage went on. Biffle had drifted down the order a little bit, but Joey Logano had found himself back into the mix now on the exit of the corner, right there on my rear bumper. Couldn't quite make anything happen until the exit of turn 4, though. He does get clear, and I have absolutely nothing for that 22 machine. So down to P5 as we come to lap 6, and now I had Martin Truex Jr., I had Denny Hamlin right behind me as well, putting some pressure on. So we are definitely starting to fade down the order a little bit earlier than I expected, but we don't have to make a pit stop in this second stage. We can make it to the end, as you can see myself side by side with that 11 and just have nothing for him. So Hamlin, he's going to slice through on the inside. Martin Truex Jr., he's going to go through on the inside, but it's still not over. Here comes Jimmy Johnson in the number 48 Cobalt Lowe's machine. They're going to all get past us in one go. Now to lap 8 out of turn 4. You see smoke ahead. It's a playoff driver. It's Joey Logano blowing up. Hamlin, Truex, Johnson check up. We get all 4 in one go, and up into 4th place we go. So that was a huge help to my second stage result here, but you can see it wasn't long. Lap 10 of the stage when Martin Truex Jr. would run me back down. No caution ever came out for Logano blowing an engine, so he had gotten into the pit lane and they were doing service to that number 22 car. We'll see if he can get back into the race or not, because sometimes when you blow an engine, you actually still can get back into the race, at least in NASCAR Heat 5 standards. But you see Johnson got past us, and now lap 17, final lap of stage 2, you can see scrapping it out with the 2 of Rusty Wallace. The 11 of Denny Hamlin was there, as well as we exit turn 2 down this back straightaway, catching the outside wall a little bit. That allows the 2 to get clear down to P7 as we head down into turn 3. On this final lap, I'm going to send one up the inside of Wallace. Kyle Busch wins stage 2 on the quarter panel of the 2. We're going to exit turn 4, get a little bit loose and hit the outside wall, and that allows Hamlin to get past us as well as the caution flies for the end of stage 2. P8 is where we end up. A little bit disappointing there. I think we could have held on to P6 if we played our cards right, just didn't quite well play them right, obviously. So everybody into the pit lane again. 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires as well. A couple repairs needed. We do lose 1 spot down to P9 for the restart. Hamlin, Edwards on the row in front of us. Carl Edwards, I swear, he kind of shows up here and there and then he just disappears. Like, he's had some speed, but he hasn't been able to stick around, I've noticed, in these races in this Heat 5 Legends mod. But we're back underway. Stage 3 is underway on this Las Vegas Motor Speedway circuit as we are racing this time. We're not hosting a music festival. Really cool, actually, that they do what EDC here in Vegas at the track venue. It's really cool when they transform it into that big EDM festival. Now, as we continue on, Kyle Busch continues to lead. Kyle Busch looking very strong, possibly completely unbeatable here today as he looks for the easy route into the final 4. 24 laps to go, matching our car number now up the inside of that 2 into turn 1. But this was going to be a difficult battle with the 2 of Rusty Wallace. It would last a little bit. We come to the end of the lap. We're still side by side battling down towards turn 123 now. Laps remain. Casey Kane just behind us as well, but we get clear into the corner, actually running into our teammate Jimmy Johnson. Up the track we go as we exit turn 2, but we are going to be able to make the pass on that 48 machine. So up at a P6 we go as we try to run down Martin Truex Jr., but now the caution is actually going to come out. Everybody is going to remain on the racetrack, including myself. Actually, one driver would stay out, and that was Terry Labonte. I believe he brought out the caution, or sorry, he pitted, I should say. He didn't stay out, but he pitted. But I believe he brought out the caution, but however, he's still in the race. So all of a sudden, I'm looking at the lap count we have left. It's 18 laps remaining. There's a possibility that Terry Labonte can make it to the end of this race on field, and if we don't have another caution, he could win this race simply because of that fact that he does not have to pit again, while everybody else could be in a position where we have to pit under green flag conditions. So that was a missed opportunity right there for myself. I could have came in and found myself in a good position in the wall on the exit of turn 4. Rusty Wallace going to go through and take the position here as Johnson tries to follow, but I'm able to cover him off in that 48, and I would fight back up the inside of the 2 down into turn 1. Lap 53 now of 67, running at a time, side by side with the 2 continuing into turn 3. We're still side by side. He's running the top, gets that momentum on the exit of the corner, and I just couldn't contend right now with this 2 car. And actually, a few moments later, lap 54, a bump to the back of the 2 into turn 3. He's going to go sliding into the corner. That's going to allow me to clear him. Not the way I wanted to pass him, but we do complete the pass nonetheless. But you saw me hit the apron, and now that pushes us up the track on the exit of turn 4. And here goes the 48 of Jimmy Johnson to the inside, and we're going to give up another position there, and another one immediately after to Carl Edwards. So now I decide, okay, we're going to come into the pit lane a few laps early like I wanted to do in stage 1 because I'm starting to fade again. So we're going to come in, throw 2 tires on the car, and just put enough fuel in the car to make it to the end of this race, because I believe it is going to go green until this race comes to a conclusion. We get down to pace speed or pit speed. As I'm coming into the pits though, we're putting on the 2 tires, putting in the half can of fuel. A bit of chaos erupts. AJ Allmendinger goes crashing into the outside while actually he's going to go through the air, spiraling. No caution somehow comes out. So very, very fortunate. We exit back onto the track. We're currently P37, but everybody still has to pit here momentarily. So I am slicing and dicing my way through some traffic. I was very fast, obviously, as you can imagine, on 2 fresher tires than everybody else. However, just hoping that it stays green, and very curious to see what the AI were going to do with their strategy, and I think that they would catch me a little bit off guard here. So I believe they all took half a can of fuel, but they only took no tires, so I believe they were actually able to get back out on the track a few seconds quicker than I was, so you can see that I'm not going to be able to quite run down some of the cars I was racing around. However, Kyle Busch had a terrible pit, and you can see I'm passing him right there in the 18. He was leading this race, and now it's Terry Labonte who's cruising to a potential race victory. We're into the top 10 with a couple laps to go, but that's it. We're coming to the final lap. It's Terry Labonte who's leading the way through 3 and 4, and he's going to win the race by like nearly a full lap as he exits turn 4 down the front straightaway for the final time. It's over. Terry Labonte comes through to win in Las Vegas. He is not in the playoffs. He's actually in like the bottom 5 in the point standings right now, but he has nonetheless found a way to go to victory lane as we come through 3 and 4 for the final time. A really odd race here in Las Vegas, but nonetheless, out of turn 4, front straightaway, it's going to be a top 10 for us. We did everything we needed to do today under the lights in Vegas. We got stage points in both stage 1 and 2 in a top 10, which is a very respectable finish and will do nothing but good favors for us here in this playoff situation. There you see the finishing order on your screen. 24 cars on the lead lap. Biffle Earnhardt Sr. with a really rough effort there, actually. So I'll be curious to see what his playoff situation looks like. We're going to take a look at it right here. So Stewart, Kyle Busch, 30 plus to the good. We are 24 to the good. Harvick 17 to the good. Earnhardt 17 out. Larson 20 out. Petty 21 out. And Logano with his engine failure as well. 21 points out. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. In the next one, we head to Homestead Miami Speedway. We will see what we can pull off there. One of my favorite circuits on the schedule. I'm very excited for that one, and I hope you guys are as well. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, everybody.